Have you ever opened a bag of chips and told yourself, "I'll only eat a few," but a few minutes later, your hand reaches the bottom of the bag? The strange thing is, you may not even be hungry. You just keep eating without really noticing. And it's not just chips. From breakfast foods and mid-morning snacks to protein bars after the gym and late-night snacks in front of the TV, we're surrounded by foods that make it incredibly easy to keep eating. For years, we've been told that overeating is mostly about willpower. Eat less, exercise more, and control yourself. But maybe it's not that simple. What if the food itself has changed? What if many modern foods are designed to be easier to eat, more enjoyable, and harder to stop eating? Maybe the problem isn't only the person eating the food. Maybe we should also take a closer look at the food being sold to us. For years, obesity was often discussed as a problem of individual responsibility. If someone gained too much weight, the explanation seemed straightforward. They ate too much, exercised too little, or simply failed to control themselves. But population-level trends raise a more complicated question. In the United States, obesity rates were relatively stable for years before beginning a major rise around the second half of the 20th century. And the increase wasn't confined to one small group. Different age groups were affected, men and women were affected. Large parts of the population began moving in the same direction. It's difficult to explain a broad social shift like that by saying millions of people suddenly became less disciplined at roughly the same time. A more useful question may be, what changed around them? Our jobs changed, our lifestyles changed, our cities changed. But our food environment changed dramatically too. Food manufacturing became more sophisticated, packaged products became more available, convenience became a major selling point, snacking became an increasingly normal part of everyday life. And food companies became exceptionally good at understanding what makes people want another bite. When most of us cook at home, we think about basic questions. Does this taste good? Is it cooked properly? Does it need more salt? Industrial food development operates on another level. Large manufacturers can study nearly every aspect of the eating experience: sweetness, saltiness, fat, aroma, crunch, softness, thickness, how quickly a product breaks apart, how it feels on your fingers, how it sounds when you bite it, how long the flavor remains in your mouth. Companies can use trained sensory panels and consumer testing to compare different versions of the same product. Is this version too hard? Is this one too chewy? Would consumers prefer slightly more crunch? Does it melt quickly enough? Will people choose it over the competing brand? There's nothing mysterious about a company wanting its product to taste good. Every restaurant and home cook wants that. The important difference is scale and precision. Modern food science allows manufacturers to fine-tune eating experiences in ways that were impossible for most of human history. And texture may be one of the most overlooked parts of that equation. Imagine eating a raw carrot. You bite down, you chew again. You break the food apart before swallowing. That takes time. Now compare that with many packaged snacks. They may initially seem crunchy, but after the first bite, they collapse almost immediately. Your tongue can crush them. They dissolve. They're gone. That difference matters because chewing is part of eating. It slows you down. Your digestive system and brain need time to respond to incoming food and participate in the processes that regulate appetite and fullness. When food requires very little chewing and can be swallowed quickly, it's easier to consume a lot of energy before you've had much time to notice how much you've eaten. Think about airy chips, cheese puffs, soft cakes, refined breakfast cereals, or similar snacks. They can feel almost weightless. Some seem to disappear the moment they enter your mouth. Yet something that feels incredibly light can still deliver a substantial amount of energy. That's an unusual combination. Easy to chew, easy to swallow, energy-dense, and extremely fast to eat. Researchers and food scientists sometimes discuss the way certain airy foods seem to vanish in the mouth. The physical sensation can make the food feel less substantial than the calories it actually contains. Your mouth says, "That was barely anything," so your hand reaches back into the bag. But manufacturers aren't only competing over taste and texture. They're competing for attention. Think about opening a cold soda. Before you've tasted anything, you've already heard it. The tab snaps, pressure escapes, there's a sharp hiss of carbonation. That sound has become part of what people expect from the experience. The same principle appears throughout food marketing. Packaging can make a distinctive crackle, a cereal can make recognizable sounds in milk, a chip can be engineered to deliver a satisfying crunch. These details matter because eating is multisensory. We don't experience food only with our tongues. We see it, we smell it, we touch it, we hear it, we anticipate it. Even before the first bite, branding, color, packaging, memory, and sound can begin shaping our expectations. Food companies understand this, and in a highly competitive market, even small sensory advantages matter. Because manufacturers aren't simply competing to sell you one product, they're competing for something more valuable: your next eating occasion. Traditionally, many people thought about eating in terms of meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. But from a business perspective, there's an obvious problem. There are many hours between those meals. Those hours represent an opportunity. So the modern food environment increasingly gives us reasons to eat throughout the entire day. Running late in the morning? Grab a breakfast drink. A little hungry at 10:30? Have a snack. Need something before lunch? There's a product for that. Finished working out? Have a protein bar. Afternoon slump? Another snack. Finished dinner? Open something while watching television. Each occasion can be marketed differently. Some products sell indulgence. Others sell convenience. Others sell health. And the health-oriented versions are especially interesting. Consider vegetable-flavored snacks. The packaging may feature greens, tomatoes, or other vegetables. Words on the front can create the impression that you're choosing something close to produce. But the nutritional reality may be much closer to a conventional processed snack. Then there are protein bars. High protein, low sugar, fitness imagery, perfect after the gym. Those messages can make the product feel almost necessary for a healthy lifestyle. The larger pattern is important. We aren't merely being offered different foods, we're being offered more reasons to eat. Food packaging can change the way we judge what's inside. Words like natural, plant-based, high protein, whole grain, low fat, source of fiber can all highlight a genuine characteristic of a product. But one positive characteristic doesn't necessarily tell you the nutritional quality of the entire food. A product can contain whole grains and still contain substantial amounts of sugar. It can be high in protein while also being heavily processed. It can contain vegetables while delivering them in a form very different from eating vegetables themselves. This is sometimes described as a health halo. One appealing claim influences how we perceive the entire product. And once we believe something is healthy, we may become less cautious about how much of it we eat. This brings us to one of the most controversial questions surrounding ultra-processed foods. Can some of them produce addiction-like eating behavior? When researchers examine foods people commonly describe as difficult to control, the list tends not to be dominated by plain beans, broccoli, apples, or chicken breast. Instead, people often mention foods such as chocolate, ice cream, pizza, chips, cookies, and other highly processed combinations. These foods can combine refined carbohydrates, fats, salt, flavorings, and carefully engineered textures in ways rarely found in whole foods. The result can be intensely rewarding. And for some people, that may translate into behavior that looks surprisingly similar to other forms of compulsive consumption. They intend to eat a little. They eat much more. They decide to cut back. They struggle. They know the behavior may be harming their health, yet they continue. That doesn't mean every person who enjoys ice cream is addicted to food, nor does it mean every ultra-processed product is inherently addictive. The science around food addiction and ultra-processed foods continues to develop, but the difficulty many people experience in controlling their intake is worth taking seriously, because telling someone to simply use more willpower may ignore the environment they're trying to resist. Suppose tomorrow you decide to dramatically reduce ultra-processed foods. Breakfast becomes more complicated. You need something quick before work. Lunch requires planning. You're surrounded by vending machines, convenience stores, drive-thrus, advertisements, and supermarket displays. You get home tired. Cooking takes time. Fresh ingredients may cost more in your area. Maybe you live somewhere where healthier options aren't convenient at all. Meanwhile, packaged food is everywhere. It's portable, shelf-stable, fast, familiar, often inexpensive, and heavily marketed. For millions of people, avoiding it isn't simply a matter of making one better decision. It means repeatedly making the harder decision in an environment where the easier option is available almost everywhere. That's an important distinction. Personal choices still matter. But choices don't happen in a vacuum. Food companies operate businesses. Their products have to compete. If consumers stop buying them, those products disappear. So companies have a powerful incentive to create foods people enjoy and purchase repeatedly. From a business perspective, consumption matters. If one product can become your breakfast, that's valuable. If another can become your morning snack, that's another opportunity. Then lunch, afternoon snack, post-workout snack, dessert, late-night snack. The more eating occasions a brand can enter, the larger the potential market becomes. This doesn't require a secret conspiracy. It's simply how competitive consumer markets work. But food is different from many other products. You need food to survive. And our appetite systems evolved in an environment very different from a modern supermarket filled with thousands of highly engineered products. For most of human history, we didn't have endless access to inexpensive foods combining intense sweetness, fat, salt, refined starch, flavorings, and rapidly dissolving textures. Now we do. Our biology hasn't changed nearly as quickly as our food environment. This is where we need to be careful. Obesity is complicated. Genetics matter, income matters, sleep matters, stress matters, physical activity matters, medication can matter, the surrounding food environment matters. No serious explanation should reduce obesity to one ingredient or one category of food. There is also ongoing scientific debate over how ultra-processed food should be defined and how directly processing itself contributes to poor health outcomes compared with factors such as calories, sugar, fat, fiber, and overall dietary patterns. That's important. Scientific uncertainty shouldn't be hidden, but uncertainty doesn't mean we should ignore the larger pattern. A large share of the modern food environment consists of products designed for convenience, long shelf life, strong sensory appeal, and easy consumption. Many are extremely easy to eat quickly. Many are aggressively marketed, and many are available almost everywhere. That environment deserves attention. Food manufacturers don't generally accept the idea that the industry is simply making people unhealthy. Industry representatives argue that companies have invested heavily in reformulating products. In many markets, manufacturers have reduced salt, sugar, or calories in certain foods. Some companies have increased fiber, fruit, or vegetable content. The industry also argues that consumers need practical choices and that packaged foods can be part of a balanced diet. When governments consider measures such as warning labels or additional taxes, manufacturers often argue that these policies can increase food costs, or may not produce the intended long-term behavior changes. They may instead favor clearer nutritional information and positive labeling systems that help consumers identify healthier options. And there is another important point. The scientific definition and policy relevance of ultra-processed food remain debated. Some scientific bodies have argued that more evidence is needed before the concept itself should become the basis for dietary regulation. So this isn't a simple story where one side has every answer. But it does leave us with a question worth asking. Who should carry the responsibility? Of course, individuals have some responsibility for what they eat. But how much responsibility is reasonable? Imagine someone working long hours. They're tired, they're stressed, they don't have much money. They have children to feed, they have 20 minutes before they need to leave the house again. Now, put that person in a supermarket filled with inexpensive, attractive, convenient foods, engineered to taste good and surrounded by marketing. Then tell them, just make better choices. That advice isn't entirely wrong, but it's incomplete. If we want healthier populations, we probably have to look beyond individual discipline. We also need to think about product design, marketing, affordability, availability, labeling, education, and the wider environment in which food decisions are made. The next time you open a bag of chips and suddenly realize you've eaten almost all of it, pay attention to the experience. How much did you chew? How quickly did each bite disappear? How salty was it? How intense was the flavor? Did you actually feel hungry when you started? Were you watching television? Driving? Working? Did you consciously decide to eat the whole bag? Or did one bite simply lead to another? None of this means chips are poison. It doesn't mean you should fear every packaged food. And it doesn't mean personal choice is meaningless. It means our relationship with modern food is more complicated than the old advice to simply eat less. For decades, we've focused heavily on the person doing the eating. Maybe we also need to look at the thing being eaten. Because modern food isn't just cooked anymore. It can be researched, tested, refined, textured, packaged, branded, advertised, and optimized for an extremely competitive marketplace. So perhaps the most useful question isn't, why can't people control themselves? Perhaps it's, what is it about our modern food environment that makes controlling ourselves so difficult? And once you start asking that question, the supermarket begins to look very different.